Welcome to the KMBest podcast. Both of us are fresh off of logging off of Twitter and seeing the CM of Marvel Snap going back and forth with like anonymous internet guy, first name, bunch of numbers. And I was just really fascinated by like the type of guy that person is, because a cursory review of their profile told me this is a person who had absolutely no desire to ever be put in a box. And I like, the reason I find this so fascinating is I'm much the same way, because on the internet, when you identify as something, like you're like, I am this, it gives ideological opponents the excuse to put you in a box and say, well, of course you think that, you're this, right? It gives someone the ability to dismiss you in their head and to not take you seriously. And so this guy is like arguing, he's like, no, I'm not a Trump guy. I don't even like Trump. I don't know why you guys are getting so worked up about this. And then like you go look at his profile and all he's saying is like, liberals deserve this. How could they have acted like Trump is so bad? It's actually all the libs' fault. Like, it's like very clearly right-wing beliefs, but it makes me wonder if this ideological smokescreen, because I think there's two levels of it. Level one is you're pretending you're not what you are so you can win arguments on the internet, which, debatable. Level two, though, is you're pretending that to yourself, which I think is way more fascinating and definitely something that I do, where I don't like being put in a box. And I know, like, if I say I am this, there will be people who put me in that box and then dismiss me out of hand because I've been put in that box. And so I sort of see this like ideological smoke bomb, this like shinobi technique this man is deploying. And I get it. It's like, there's no upside in the modern era to saying or committing to anything. The best possible thing is that no one knows exactly what you're actually ideological committed to, so that way everyone has to take you seriously as someone they could reasonably convert. And it's just it's a very weird, like, postmodern position to put yourself in. Like, I find it genuinely fascinating, in as much as anyone finds, first name bunch of numbers fascinating. It's not the specific guy, it's the rhetorical positioning that I enjoy.
Yeah, I was just looking at it now because you gave me the download on it.
Yeah.
I had not actually seen it. And just a cursory glance.
Yes.
I'm just like, this is fascinating.
Yes. It's like it's such an odd position to take, where you're like, I don't know if it's they don't know that they're right wing. Like, that seems entirely possible, that this person just doesn't know that all these culture war things they're engaging with are right wing. Like, and that seems entirely possible. That it's like, it's not politics at all. I don't know why you'd think politics and culture are connected. It's just these dumb libs that are just pushing diversity initiatives or whatever, right? That's not political. That's just bad, right? Or
yeah,
if it's just an unwillingness to be put in a box in any way.
I think a lot of it, I mean, similar to not wanting to be put in a box, a lot of it could just be like, well, I don't want to identify with any of these groups because they're like lame or stupid for any number of reasons or whatever. And I shit on everyone equally, you see.
But
that is just what we do here.
But that's like not even true. Like, you could look at their profile. It's not true, right?
Well, yeah, but that's what they say, right? Like, that's what they tell themselves. It's like, but I shit on everyone.
Why would you, like, what I'm getting at, the thing that's fascinating to me about this is, like, what intellectual protection does that afford you? What does that you, like, what does that allow you to do in your life? What rationalization does that enable? Like, what do they think of themselves as?
I do think on the internet, you get to do, like, a lot of weirdo reverse strawman stuff. I don't know, like, where they, you're in some argument and they're like, well, clearly you believe this or whatever. And it's like, oh, weird that you believe that I believe that, because I never said that.
Yeah. Yeah. How could
so
you
I guess you just get to be like,
that?
You get to be like unbelievably obtuse for no reason to like wiggle your way out of things. And I do think that is probably it.
I really found the rhetorical position fascinating, because, like, zooming out of all of this, I strongly suspect that my politics are like significantly to the left of Griffin's politics in this context, right? But I really enjoyed that because like I am someone who also like I put people in boxes, right? Like, oh, you're an X guy, where X is like whatever type of thing. I understand you now, and thus I don't have to put the effort in, right? Like, oh, I get it. This person like follows Neera Tanden on Twitter. I know what kind of person they are, right? This is an Obama era lib. I get it. I know what kind of person they are, right? And obviously like that is reductive, and I can understand someone being like, how dare you do that to me? I'm a full human being, right? So like there's like a positive
Like-
case for what this person is doing, which is to identify with people as people. And then there's the negative case for what this person is doing, which is just basically being annoying on the internet.
No, I mean, if you are a hella player, like that tells me a lot about you.
Tells me everything about you. Like that you deserve to go to hell in real life. We'll build it for you and we'll put you there.
I knew that would get your ass.
I'm nothing. See, because you put me in a box, you know what type of guy I am. I'm a hella
Yeah,
hater.
you're an anti-hella guy.
There it is.
That's
right?
the box.
Yes, it's the box. But yeah, I genuinely found that fascinating. I am not here to comment on the like relative professionalism or lack of professionalism of basically anyone else. Frankly, it makes me happy to see someone on their own account doing what they want to do. But I just wanted to say, like the rhetorical posture taken by first name bunch of numbers, I really found that compelling. Like it made me think about stuff. Like I really do appreciate the idea of like if you just deny, no one will ever be able to actually put you in a box, or at least not a label you accept. And if you reject all of these labels, well then you can just, dismiss your opponents out of hand because they're obviously intellectually incapable of comprehending the complexities of your politics, which are, if you make fan art of characters from Dan to Dan as black, you're racist. Like that's the like
Damn.
like that's like that's
You
like
went deep.
you it's there's this great image from way back in the day where it's just like you can kill me but you'll never kill the idea, and it's just like the guy from V for Vendetta in front of the firing squad, and then it like does a little x-ray image into his brain, and it's just like yell at minorities on the internet. It's like that's
Yeah.
it's a very like I really do enjoy this like sort of specifically online mode of behavior, because this isn't something that comes up before we live in a panopticon, right? This isn't the type of guy that exists in large numbers before panopticon internet made it easier for us to put the entire world in these boxes.
The first post I saw really kind of just put it all into perspective for me, where Griffin was like, hey man, feel free to share your name. And the guy was just like, oh, he's trying to dox me, and then tagged like at Disney or whatever.
Yes.
And then Griffin was like, no, if you share it freely, it is not me doxing you. You are doing that. Guy just pee-pee poofed. He smoke bombed, got the hell out of there.
What I enjoyed was the tagging of everyone on like Sepkin Dinner's like management staff. I thought that was a good gag. Like,
Sure.
I thought that was a good gag. I enjoyed like it's like but again, like it's like this ninjutsu approach to argument where it's like victory by obscurity. By even engaging with me, you have already lost. You see, you have engaged with me, which means I get to like obtain the moral high ground by calling your boss for daring to engage with me. It's like such a ha! You see, I have used your momentum against you. Smoke bomb. It's so cool. I really
Someone
enjoy
needs to
this
study
stuff.
this guy.
Yeah, not like this guy, because like again, like I don't really think this guy is that interesting. But like the rhetorical positioning.
Everything that is like made this guy who he is.
Yeah, I like. Because the reason I'm so fascinated by this is I also reject these labels, because I can intuitively understand that it is disadvantageous to be put in a box, Like, if I'm arguing on the internet, I'll pull all the same tricks. Like, actually, I never said that, even though it was, like, a very clearly implied thing that I said. Like, it's like,
I don't claim a whole lot of things, mostly because I don't necessarily want to be seen as like the same as every single person in that group, I
Yep.
suppose. It's just like I can be that thing. I mean, like, for example, I am a Magic the Gathering player. But if I say that, people are going to assume that, I am the same as every other Magic the Gathering player. And it's like, well, that's not really true. Like there are, especially now where I'm, I don't know, sort of semi-retired from competitive. It's just like things are very, very different. When I go to an event, I am operating on a much different axis than
Yeah.
every other person who would be in that box, right? So
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
the
know.
axis of
It is just weird to be like, oh, I'm this guy and I'm the same as every other person who does this.
right, but like in so much as like we live in an era of like conspicuous consumption, right? Of signaling things through the brands we use, like when Stanley Cups went viral among a certain sort of socioeconomic class of women on TikTok, right? Like, oh, here's my morning water, all of that stuff. Like, that was conspicuous consumption. It was signaling who you were as a person by your membership to a group. And I think it's really interesting to do the opposite, which is to could signal again, it does signal who you are because the negative space is there, right? Like you're still in
Yeah.
a box, it's just not a box that's the same necessarily. But like it's conspicuous rejection. I hate everyone. It's sort of this like because if you allow yourself to have an identity and have characteristics, if you've been on
They
the
can
internet
affect
long enough, you've seen all of those characteristics viciously dunked on and owned repeatedly. Every characteristic that you can imagine, every fandom, everything ever, you've seen someone shit on it, probably correctly, because a lot of things are really silly. And so if you don't have any of those, then you can't be shit on.
You can't hurt me if I'm ephemeral, if I
Right.
don't really exist or have any characteristics.
I have sanded off all aspects of my personality other than viciously attacking people on the internet. Because the only thing I know is that I can't lose if I'm attacking. But if I give anyone any kind of target, I can lose. I just like that is really fascinating to me.
Honestly, I can't really lose if I'm attacking and force my opponent to be on the defensive. Like that's just good card game advice, really.
Yeah, I mean, it's a real mono red strategy for life, you know? It's is it actually? I think it's you are. I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's like a Delver of Secrets lightning bolt type thing, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, like that's just what I wanted to talk about today. I found that rhetorical positioning fascinating because I too have sanded off parts of my soul so that I am less easier to attack on the internet. I relate as someone whose job is basically to sand off parts of their soul in order to be more palatable to people. I mean, like, obviously, I don't really believe the if you're attacking, you're winning thing, because a lot of the time you just don't engage, but I wish I could, right? And that's the part of me I'm sanding off. And, yeah.
I don't think that you think that you're winning necessarily in those situations where you're like doing nothing. So
It's true. It's true. But yeah, just generally found that interaction fascinating in a way that I found both relatable and perverse. And one day I'll write a book about it.
it'd probably be a pretty good book if you could actually like hammer down
Yes.
a lot of like discernible things. Don't sand off all the parts of meaning in the book also, so that the book is indefensible. But
Yeah, it is. It is something I've thought about a lot. Like, I should parlay my video game success into being a like really bad politics streamer. I should. That's the
many
dream.
such cases. Many such cases.
That's the dream, right? Like, I would love to be one of those guys. I like that's exactly what I want out of life. Except then when you actually get down to it, all that happens is your audience is this guy.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh man, I really don't want that. So I guess it's a long way of saying I'm grateful to my audience who just listened to 15 minutes of me talk about Twitter. Do you want to talk about Marvel Snap any? You wanna dive into Nightmare maybe? You want to talk about the cards that just came out? You want to talk about this weird mid-range suit metagame? Where we at?
I've been kind of out of it for the last couple of days.
Really?
What I miss? How about that? Why don't you catch me up?
So there's like 800 different mid-range decks, and it's 100% unclear if any of them are good. Like, they all exist, and there's like 4 different Annihilus decks, and there's like a couple Cannonball Mercury decks, and everyone's doing a bunch of weird stuff. But I strongly suspect that the strongest thing to do is just going to be the same old Galacta Gwenpool pile, and eventually we're going to arrive right back there.
Dude, it's so weird whenever you talk about this stuff, because it's like I still play like a decent amount, you know, like enough to try and do my dailies and be a good guild member and do my alliance quests and stuff. But like you're talking about how there are 4 different Annihilus decks. I haven't played against any of that shit.
Yeah, I don't really know how to account for the differences between High Infinite and everywhere else, frankly. It's something that I've struggled with a lot of my content. Well, like, I'll talk about something, and it's like, well, this is what it's like at the highest level of the game, and then some guy in rank 70 will be like, fuck you, you piece of shit. I played your deck and I lost, and that's your fault, right?
I'm in rank 95, you know?
Yeah, that's all the people you're playing are bots.
Not all of them, only the vast majority.
Yeah. But like, by the way, do you want to talk about the bots? Because they did something to those fuckers, and I don't like it.
Just that they can be infinite now, and
no, they like can't. But
they can't.
As far as I'm aware, they're not in infinite yet.
No, not in infinite, but like the highest rank they've achieved is infinite. Whereas before, if you ever played against someone who was like highest rank 94 or whatever, you knew it was a bot.
No, what I think they did was I think they they've sort of talked about like how they do bot decks, right? They do like deck algorithms that give them the bot decks, right? They're like a constantly updating thing. And so what I think is bot behavior has not changed, but the quality of their decks has drastically increased. And
well, yeah, it's like they took the like, oh, build me a deck with Surge thing and like handed it to a bot.
Right. And what that has led to is, in my opinion, very deeply unfun bot games where you're playing against a deck that has enough, like, if you had the superpower to win every 50-50, you'd be the best Marvel Snap player in the world. It wouldn't be close. And so even if a bot is playing the first 5 turns wrong, the fact that they are able to win every 50-50, it doesn't actually matter how badly they played those first 5 turns if they're playing the right deck, because the right deck gives them a limit to the amount of messing up they could possibly do as long as they're just using all of their energy. And so what I think happened is basically that they got better by virtue of having better decks. And my source for this is that, you know, I hit rank 1 this season. The stream before I hit rank 1 was me spending 7 hours in the 90s losing 8 cubes over and over to bots. So either they are better than the literal best player in the game, or something is a little bit different. Or both. I mean, you know, it could be either.
It's hard to say.
Yeah, who could say? I mean, Lord knows I'm washed, right? Like, but the point is, there was something meaningfully different about this season for me. And it was different in a way that, like, I feel as though it should not be harder to get through the 90s than it is to hit rank 1. I'll say that much.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, I don't know. I don't even feel like it is particularly difficult to get through the 90s. It's just, it takes time.
Yep. And, like, maybe they want it to take time. In which case I say, just let me start an infinite then. Stop making me go through this crap. But if you want it to take time, I think one of the worst possible ways you can make it take time is fake opponents.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, what is the deal with it anyway? Because it's like, I feel like whenever I lose to a human, I immediately queue into a bot that kind of like throws. And
I don't know
why.
I don't know to what degree I don't know the things that allow them to populate their bots. I don't know what conditions they have on them. I have genuinely no clue about that. I am very good at identifying them without needing to like look at the, the CL hack to like make sure you're aware of it right now. One of the things that happens is like they'll talk about like these things like it's, I don't know the right way to phrase it, but like Glenn will give answers where it'll be like, we actually want it to take time. We actually haven't done anything to the bots, and we think it's just a consequence of people noticing them more. And it's like, I noticed every bot I've ever played against from before you guys admitted there were bots. This is not the CL hack letting me notice it more. I'm like a subject matter expert at this point. Why are you acting like that isn't the case?
Well, for you specifically, I think for other people it might be different, but like
maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I remember the early days of us being on Discord calls and them opponent going like turn 1 Nightcrawler, us playing an Electra, and them moving the Nightcrawler on turn 2 to just dodge, and it's just like clearly this is not real. This is not a human we are playing against.
Yes.
And meanwhile, we were getting gaslit, and now it feels, I don't know. Maybe it's sort of happening again. Maybe something is going on their end that maybe they're not even aware of. I don't know.
Yeah, all I can tell you is like, I don't think it's an accident that everyone I know in high elo was like, hey, what the fuck is up with the bots right now? These are like the best players of your game, and all of them are like, what the fuck is this? And I really do wish I had an answer, because I'm starting to dread every day that, like, oh god, here's the season reset, let's do this again, right? Like, it's just a sucky thing, I feel like.
Yeah, it's just doing your chores, but I feel like there needs to be some amount of that, right? Like, if everyone that hit infinite just got reset into infinite, it's just like, well, then that's what the ladder is, and maybe that's okay. I don't know.
I don't mean everyone that hit infinite gets reset into infinite. I mean literally just me. Just exempt me.
Just me. Yeah.
I do marketing for your game, technically. I do unpaid. I'm like the least paid intern of all time. I'm just by existing. You're the least paid intern. Sure, yeah, it's true. Yeah.
You at least get paid some other amount of the time.
It's true. I mean, granted, I did offer to pay you, and you were like, don't pay me.
Yeah, what are you gonna pay me? I'll give you $12 every month or whatever.
Yeah, we make about $70 a month on YouTube. 70 to 95 seems to be our range.
Yeah, so I don't know. Okay, a little bit more than $12, you know.
No, it'd be $12 after taxes, Jerry. Like, there's all the taxes, and then there's like the thing I make up and file under taxes, and then you get $12.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I let you stay in my basement. And that's, I won't even say I let you stay in my basement for free. I charge you exorbitant rent. But, out of the goodness of my heart, I let you do this.
You don't charge me money. It's, you collect in other ways.
I let you stay in on an exotic island in a white and blue cube. I let you stay there free of charge, Shay. Is that so bad? Is that such a bad life?
I don't know. My life hasn't been great at many times, and certainly the depression and general self-loathing lead me to believe that this ain't so bad. It could be worse.
Yeah, it was hard to live through the 1930s. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was rough out there.
Yeah, that was a tough time for. Did you know? By the way, I did want to tell you, massive outpouring of response in the comments for the Gerry Sode. By the way, like, also,
I don't believe you.
Also, for some reason, they seemed to think that we were contemplating getting rid of you. Like that. Like, I don't know exactly where that came up, because it was never one time
of death. Finally,
it was never at one time on my mind that we were going to replace you, but there were multiple comments that were like, don't replace Gerry. And I was like, I don't know where that came from, but okay. I guess what we're gonna do is we're gonna do what they did to Joe Biden. We're gonna stick you in a cloning vat, and we're gonna replace you with a slowly deteriorating copy. Is sort of my plan from here.
I mean, I sort of thought I was there already, but
Sure.
I'm trying to now think if I said anything
I don't know
that made it seem like that was the case or whatever, or that I was fearful of this. No, put me out to pasture, man. I don't care. Whatever.
Yeah, I have literally no recollection of what it was that we said that gave people that impression, but I would like to reassure you that before every episode of this podcast, we wheel a fresh Gerry clone out of the vat. And you haven't actually interacted with or seen the real Gerry, who is hooked up to several Matrix-like computers and tubes.
Yeah, but they don't want to replace that guy. Keep that guy on the tube.
I get it. Okay. We'll keep him in his sort of Matrix-like fantasy, and the Matrix-like fantasy that we feed him is actually also of him doing this podcast. It's how we get them in the right mindset when we take the clones out of the vat.
You ever just grab a fresh water from the fridge and you take a sip of it, and you're fully expecting it to taste badly, like RFK Jr. just snuck into your house and took all the fluoride out of your bottled water, but then it tastes normal and you feel great? That's how I feel right now. This is normal water.
Yeah, that's because you're the fresh clone. The previous clone, remember, the previous clone couldn't drink water. We had to fix that, right? Like a couple weeks ago, the unable to drink water was drinking water, and he was like, "What the fuck is wrong with this water?" Wrong. It was your taste buds. They came out fucky that time. Yeah. This time, much better. We fixed that in post.
Yeah, nailed it. Yeah, water tastes like water now. oh, happy day. Being alive is so wonderful.
We're turning the lore of this show into like a Rick and Morty episode, I feel like.
Yeah.
Very...
You've told a lot of different stories of the lore.
All of which are unimpeachably true, much like all of my objective opinions on the metagame.
Yeah, and politics.
Well, no, don't put those in there. Those are actually true. Like, come on now.
Smoke bomb, ninja vanish.
Did you see the petition or the legal threat towards second dinner, wherein someone posted on Reddit that if they didn't unnerf Doom 2099, that they were going to be sued?
Was that real? Because I saw the post, but I didn't click on it.
It was a real Reddit post. It was pretty obviously a joke, but I thought it was a funny joke is all I'm really trying to say here. I enjoyed that joke.
I saw the post and quickly scrolled by it.
I don't know. There was another one that my community was split on whether or not it was a joke, and I'm gonna offer this one up to the podcast community and see what you think. It was someone complaining about how they had to nerf Fenris Wolf because they loved playing Hela for being non-interactive and making a ton of points, and that it was their way of avoiding toxic meta cards like Cannonball and Goose. And to me, I was like, that's obviously a joke. You can't, like, oh, I love playing the deck that just makes all the points. It doesn't get interacted with. You have to delete Fenris Wolf so I can stop playing the toxic meta card Goose. But my Discord was very sure that was serious, and I kind of wanted to take a temperature.
There's the the comic of the dude shaving his head, and it's like, you're making me do this or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
It was very much that. That's what that sounds like to me. You could believe it. You could have convinced yourself. That's entirely possible, but like, truth is interesting.
I feel like I'm going to call this episode, like, the subjectivity of truth or something and get half the clicks of normal. Is there any way we can, like, clickbait that up and make it sound like, you know, it's about Marvel Snap?
Yeah, for sure. So you're talking about mid-range. I just looked at your Sunday post.
Yeah.
Mid-range. Yeah, let me think about it for a little bit.
All right, I'll let you cook, and I'll go back to the rundown, which is basically like there's this 34 card Monty deck that, in my opinion, kind of actually blows. but everyone gets mad at Arishem, so people overrate that deck. It's fine. I think it's good enough, but I don't think it's like metagame defining, or not necessarily not metagame defining. It's metagame defining in impact, but not in. It's metagame defining psychologically, but not realistically. Does that make sense?
I mean, it's one of those things that it is going to show up. You are going to play against it, but the reality of its win rates, it does not affect anything.
Yeah. It reminds me of post-ban Callblade, where it's like, all right, that's like 30% of the field, but it sucks. It's just...
No, dude, I thought it was the opposite. Post-ban Callblade, I was like the only person in the world that could win with it, I felt like.
That's what I mean. If you're the only person in the world that could win with it, it's bad.
No. It was like no one was playing it because they all thought it was bad. And then I would play it, and I just annihilated everyone.
See, I feel like that's the difference
I think post-ban, my win rate went up, is what I think happened. I'm not even kidding.
That is fascinating to me, but I think that's the difference between the perspectives that we had where we were, right? I was the rank 70 player. You were the, like, top of infinite player then, right? So, like, you had the ability to, like, discern those things, where to me, I was just playing against a bunch of people that were copying you and playing badly.
I don't even think many people were copying me.
I remember a lot of Hero Blade Hold, Jerry.
I did not play Hero Blade Hold. I thought that card sucked.
So wait, which post-ban Clawblade are you talking about?
I played like 4 Squadron Hawk to a Mirror Angel and maybe a Sun Titan.
That actually makes a lot more sense.
I can pull this up right now. I have this saved. Work tab, yes, click that. Nope, not that. Different work tab. MTG tab? Nope, not that either. Content. Yes. Okay. 7/31/2011. 4th place at Star City Games Standard Open. Brian Braun-Duin.
My goat.
Hero Blade. 4 Blade Splicer, 4 Hero Blade Hold, 4 Squadron Hawk. Okay. Oh, this is not helpful. This is just... I clicked this link that was supposed to be my deck list, and it's just all of BBD's deck lists of all time. Maybe I'll send that one to you. Anyway,
that's who's replacing you. I'm amazed you stumbled through the Matrix and found it.
You just replace all instances of me with BBD?
Yeah, just like Control F. Okay,
so there was this weekend where I won back-to-back opens. I won the Saturday Open and the Sunday Open. And this one says 4th place, and I think I played against BBD in top 8, but maybe it was top 4. But he was playing the Hero Blade Hold version of the post-ban Callblade thing, and I was playing the Control-y one, and I beat him. I beat him so easily on my way to winning that Open. And then, I don't know. I mean, I feel like anytime I can win like 2 tournaments in one weekend, I'm kind of in the zone, in the Cal zone, if you will.
I won't.
Cal zones are good. Anyway. But that was, I was gonna make a piece of content on this at some point, basically breaking down why like Blade Splicer, Hero Blade Hold, it's like those are quote unquote good cards, right? Like they are not weak, but positioning your deck in that sort of way really limits you to what your deck is capable of doing. And I felt that my deck was stronger because it was more versatile. And the hero thing was very much like, oh, I guess post-ban, we just jam a bunch of like mythic rares or whatever.
Yeah, like that was my for the record, I was talking about the hero thing when I was talking about post-ban Callblade being bad.
Oh yeah, this deck was unplayable.
Yeah, it was really ass, right? But like, one thing that's like very funny about it looking back was like they were like, okay, how do we replicate early tempo? And it's just, what are the best possible rate cards in these colors? Like, how do we replicate having early tempo?
Yeah.
Not understanding that like the card that you lost, Stoneforge Mystic, was like completely batshit insane, and Blade Splicer is good.
Yeah, it's good in a sea of cards that are good plus or whatever.
Yeah.
Like they weren't insane cards, but it was like all stuff that just kind of embarrassed Blade Splicer. It wasn't you weren't even like restoration angeling your Blade Splicer. You weren't doing like anything crazy with it. It was just
The guy.
what you saw was what you got. Yeah, there were no blink
Sky.
effects or anything.
No, you're getting an extra battle cry trigger off of your hero blade hold, you know?
Cool.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that.
Super cool.
Super cool. But yeah, it was just like I that is the version of the deck that I remember just being like, that deck absolutely sucks. I don't have better ideas, but I know it sucks. It's like that's sort of how I feel about like that deck is how I feel about Arsham Thanos now. Where it's like you're gonna fold to anyone with a coherent game plan. You're just gonna fold to anyone who can make you take a reactive role because you're just not good enough at being a reactive role deck.
Oh. I'm just going back in history. I googled my name plus Emiria Angel, and there's an article 2 months before this open talking about how good Emiria Angel is. So like I'd been writing about this for 2 months.
Yep. But it's not cool. Emiria Angel, old set, not cool. Blade Splicer, Hero Blade Hold, new sets, cool. Mythic.
Oh, Mental Misstep was still legal.
Yeah.
What a card.
Yeah, that was I remember cracking boxes of New Phyrexia. I think that might have been the last set I ever cracked a box of. And yeah, no, I think it probably is New Phyrexia. Did we discuss, I don't know if we discussed your attempts at gambling on the podcast recently. Did we talk about those on the podcast or we just talk about those off the podcast?
I don't know.
I would love to, I want to say I think it was off the podcast, and I really do think it should be on the podcast. I want to take them through your journey through Final Fantasy Magic the Gathering.
Okay, so I am a longtime Final Fantasy enjoyer.
Freak.
I am
that's what they call them, Final Fantasy freaks, the triple F.
lol. I have played Magic the Gathering for a long time. For those who are not in the know, they just came out with a Magic the Gathering Final Fantasy set. And I am maybe supposed to be part of the target audience. I think the target audience is like people who have played Final Fantasy and not played Magic the Gathering. But regardless, this is a thing that should probably hit for me too. And I think it's awful. I think it is a terrible idea. And because of my gambling addiction, they have gotten me. And so now I am part of the problem. But buying booster boxes and just like cracking the packs is generally a pretty damn bad idea.
Yes.
Unless you own a store and can sell the things for, retail price, and that is how you keep the lights on. I don't do that because I'm lazy as shit, So if I sold stuff, it would be for like 50% of retail. And if you could sell things at 50% of retail after opening a box and get your money back, then the price of the box would go up, right? Like that's just how the world works. So whenever you open a box, you just lose money. But what if you are gambling while you open the box? Then it's like, you could make so much money.
Yo, dog, I heard you like losing money. So we put losing money in your losing money so you can lose money while you lose money.
So I was at this tournament where a buddy of mine needed like this pretty mediocre rare out of a set that none of the vendors on site had. A card called Strix Serenade. And he was like, well, I don't want to buy a box to try and get it. And I was like, well, I'll go halfsies on the box with you and we'll flip for it.
Which to be clear is exactly what it sounds like.
It is exactly that. Yeah. So we both take half the packs of the box, we open them all up, and we determine like who opened the most money's worth, and that person scoops the entirety of the box. And so we open the first box, no strict serenade, I lose the coin flip. So we're both screwed, right? Like he got all these cards, but not the card that he wanted, and I'm just out 350 for nothing. And so I immediately was just like, run it back. And he's free rolling at this point, so he's like, yeah, sure. So we do another one. The very last pack that gets opened, I open the strict serenade. So now my friend Michael, he's covered. He's good to go for his tournament. But I lose the coin flip again. I'm stuck $700 into my friend, and I'm just like, good luck in the tournament.
When he mentioned, like, this is the, like, oh, I go to tournaments for different reasons than most people. This is what those reasons are. Like, he doesn't go to tournaments to, like, play in tournaments. He goes in tournaments to lose $700 gambling.
To my friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, if you walked up to Gerry and said, hey, do you want to, like, coin flip for $700? Actually, he probably would say yes, but maybe not.
I probably would.
Yeah.
I probably would.
Yeah. That's probably like
Which is weird, because this is definitely not the most money I've ever had in my life. You know, this is like, I am dangerously close to being homeless again. Like I'm way closer to that era of my house or of my life than
coin flipping for $700 would imply. Yeah.
Yeah. So the fact that I am down to do this probably means that I need to start going back to therapy. But in lieu of doing that, I may just continue to flip coins with people. But
right.
So I was stuck $700 into my friend, and I kept bothering him like, hey, when can I get unstuck? When can I get unstuck? When are we going to do this? And then fast forward a couple months later, different tournament, and he bombs out. I obviously wasn't doing anything because we're in a tournament, so I'm not playing Magic.
Yeah.
And he's just like, yeah, fine, man. Let's do this. Let's help get you unstuck. So buy a third box, different set this time, collector boosters of Duskmorn or something. I lose again. The worst part about this was that a pack that I cracked had like a fancy foil Enduring Curiosity, which is with like this anime cat art treatment. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I was just like, hell, let me also buy that from you. I gave him like 50 for the card and also bought the whole box for him. So then we ran it back again and I finally won. Scoreboard. Sure. Boom.
Yep.
Boom.
Yep.
But I'm still in a spot where I'm like, hey man, when can I get unstuck? So then Final Fantasy comes out. I go to the store. I buy 2 Japanese collector boxes. My friend Michael really likes Japanese cards. Oh, I know how to get his ass. I just put a box down in front of him. I was like, let's flip for it. And he's like, okay, I'm in. And we go through, we do the math on stuff, and we're just tied. How dumb is that? We just tied.
Yep.
We just kept what we opened.
Okay.
And then that was so much fun that I saved the second box to open with friends back home. But I just wanted to crack it because it was opening the other box was pretty fun. But then I didn't have a box to buy or to open for my friend's home, so I went into the store and bought another one.
There's just like layers to this, right? Like the constant let me run it back into continuing further debt, but then I feel like the cherry is I really enjoyed opening that box. I'm gonna just gamble for the love of it without the second layer of gambling on top of it, right? Like that was the crazy bit to me. It's like you learned to love the gambling for the sake of gambling without the addition of extra gambling.
Oh, so you're saying I should flip myself for the box, and if I lose, then I just have to light my own money on fire,
rip it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Make a withdrawal and just light it up.
No, you do flip it or rip it, right? If you lose the flip against yourself, you just like light the entire box on fire, and you like have to post it on Twitter.
People on the internet don't like it when you do that.
I nor should they. I mean, they don't have like gambling problems. What would they know? You know?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I do think there's like this one thing. There's like a through line throughout this podcast, which is if you have like a parasocial relationship with somebody, don't come up to them and be like, "Oh my god, I'm such a fan." Don't do that. What you do is you come up to them and say, "Do you want to coin flip for $700?" Like that's the real move, right? Like nobody gets that offer and is like, "Oh, this guy's fucking weird."
No, honestly, what I would have to do if you're a person that I don't know, I would be like, show me your bank account. Because I would want to make sure that you can afford to lose.
Right. Imagine someone being like coin flip for $700 and they really just want to meet you. And they're just like,
I know.
yeah.
Dude, that's the worst. That would be so bad.
Oh shit. But yeah, like that's the method. That I'm letting you in. This is free game. I'm letting you into the club. If you have a parasocial relationship with somebody in the card game community, don't approach them as a fan, approach them as a gambler. approach them with an offer of 50-50 $500. Approach them. I mean, yeah, it'll work.
Assuming that person does have a gambling problem, yeah, that would
Oh yeah, because a guy in the card game industry won't have a gambling problem. Come on, what do you think the odds of that are?
Like, you're probably right. Whether or not they know, or whether or not they have like fully embraced it, like I have. Then,
yeah, okay, maybe you obfuscate it a little bit. Be like, do you want to go halvesies on a box and flip for it? Like, okay, you've obfuscated it slightly. It's like, all right. But trust me, they're in for it. And you're not even necessarily out money. You could be out money. You could be up money. You get both. You double up on this.
So the second round of boxes that I did with Michael, the second set, initially with the first one, my friend Austin was there, and he was like, "Oh, is that just like a random loose pack? Like, is that extra?" And Michael was like, "No, that's Gerry's. He has not opened it yet because he is stupid and like got excited that he opened the stupid cat and he knocked the pack like off." And I was like, "Oh, cool. So I have like an extra pack to add to my total," because I thought I was just getting hammered, and I was. And then that pack did not help. But when we went to get the second box, we bought it, and then Michael was like, "Let me get one extra pack on top." And I was like, "Oh, just for funsies?" And he's like, "No, I'm getting it for Austin because it seemed like he wanted to open a pack, like he just wanted a pack." So Michael, good guy that he is, just spent $40 on a pack to hand to our friend Austin. So we get back, start opening the box. Michael's like, "Oh, Austin, I got this for you." Austin's like, "Really? Thanks, man. Just like so kind, so nice." And then Austin opens the pack, and he's just looking at it. He's like, is this what they call a halo foil? And shows us an Elspeth Planeswalker. I was like, yep, that's a halo foil. And he's like, how much is this? And I was like, I don't know, probably like $300 or whatever. And he's like, cool. And then he's like, should I sell this or keep it? I was like, I don't think you're ever gonna play with that card. And he's like, yeah, you're probably right. I'll go see what the vendors want to give it to me. He comes back and he's like, oh yeah, those Italian vendors gave me $300 for this. Nice.
No, there's nothing else to that story. There's not like, oh, I gave Michael $40. Nothing.
Nope, sure isn't. Not to my knowledge.
Oh shit!
That was a gift.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like if someone buys you lottery tickets, you can throw 20% back if you win.
That's literally. I told this story to Cho yesterday, and he was like, he had your reaction, and then. That immediately came up where it's like, let's say I buy all of us lottery tickets and you win like $1 billion or whatever. Are you like, oh, here's your dollar back? You know?
Yeah, you throw them 20%. That's the maybe not even 20%.
20%.
Maybe not even 20%. 15%. I don't know. An amount, a chunk.
Tip your dealer. Dealer. All I'm saying.
Yes. That like. Someone suggested, by the way, that I got a huge kick out of this, that there could be a podcast about you called the Gerry T, which I find hysterical because that podcast exists.
It does.
Yeah.
The Nile and Gerry TEA podcast.
Yeah. That was I got a kick out of that suggestion because it's like, actually, little do you know, there's not a single area of podcastdom that Gerry has not entered. Okay, like,
I mean, all of this is like started within the last year.
that's
I
true.
used to have only a single podcast, and now I feel like me really like ramping up the gambling addiction and the podcasting at the same time is something is seriously wrong with me.
How do you feel about Barstool Sports?
I don't even know what that means.
Okay, you're still safe. I just had to check. Like, you were reaching sort of dangerous levels of white. Like, your caucasity was kind of like spiking there. And it was like, all right, I gotta check. I gotta just do like a, it's like when they like hit your knee just to see if your nerves still move.
Fight people with bar stools?
No, they're like,
because that'd be
God,
cool.
Imagine like Lad Bible, but in MAGA hats. It's a very odd concept of a type of guy to be. But we've started this video off talking about putting guys in boxes. Barstool Sports guys are like such a definable type of guy. Like this sort of like DraftKings addled 24-year-old, maybe a drug problem, definitely a gambling problem. Far right-wing grievance politics that they don't particularly understand, they just get mad about kind of thing. A really specific type of guy. Like, it's a very like modern American guy. And they would be offended by me describing them as like having far right political views, despite like the guy who runs Barstool Sports, like endorsing Trump and going to Trump events and interviewing him at the White House, like all sorts of shit that like makes it very clear they are like a pro-Trump company. They live in they want to throw the ninja smoke bomb and be like, actually, we're just open to those ideas. But I guess you're not, you close-minded liberal shill.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's a very specific type of guy. I think largely typified by like poor decisions with relation to gambling. That's like a big part of their business model. They have their own sports book. It's a whole thing.
Holy shit, dude. Okay, so I found the top 8 of the BBD thing, and I think I figured out why I thought I played against him in top 8 is because I think I played against him in the morning, but that was like you play the top 8 and then that cuts to the top 4 and you play that Sunday morning or whatever. There were 4 other Caw Blade decks in that top 8, and they're all Hero Blade Hold, Blade Splicer nonsense.
I tried to tell you.
There was my deck, and I won the tournament. Yeah.
Okay. I actually do think it would be nice to have your insight on this, because Marvel Snap isn't a community that's used to tournaments. I think I just want to like just tee you up here and let you go. I'm gonna try to like insert this phrase into your back like you're a clockwork doll and I'm winding a key. A deck winning a tournament doesn't mean it's good. Yes.
Correct. But it does continue from there.
Sure.
Like my results and my success.
No, but like what I'm getting at here is like RSM Thanos won Golden Gauntlet 2. That doesn't mean it's the best deck in the game. It doesn't even necessarily mean that it's good.
No, like I said, I won both events I played in that weekend, which probably meant that I was in like a pretty good mental headspace. It has nothing to do with like whether or not my deck is good. My deck was also good.
Sure.
But those are 2 separate things,
Yeah, do you think I could get you like talking a little bit more about what it means to be in a good mental headspace in a tournament? If Marvel Snap does more tournaments, this might be useful to people.
If I knew, I could just turn that shit on. Realistically, over the course of my career, the times when I have been in spots where I would describe as like a good mental health, or like good mental space, or like when I have good mental health, right? And things are just going well for me, or I believe that they are, where it's like, oh, I have started a new relationship and I'm in the honeymoon phase. Like I will probably be winning a lot of tournaments in that same area, even if I'm not spending a lot of time on Magic at all. So it's stuff like that, where it's like, if you're in this euphoric spot, then yeah, you're probably just going to be in a good zone. And if there are things that are like slightly bad happening to you, you just are very easily able to like brush them off, because it's like, oh, you see the bigger picture, like this tiny bit of unfortunate circumstance does not matter all that much. And yeah, I think it's stuff like that. It's hard to just put yourself there. It just has to be a place that you exist.
Yeah, I think when we talk about it, like I think a lot of people will understand the concept of flow state, right? And that's sort of what we're talking about, where it's like it's hard to force yourself into a flow state because the act of forcing it means that you are not there, right? Like if you like the forcing of it is proof that you're not in it because you never have to actually force it. And that is something that I've sort of dealt with most of my life, where it's like there are times, and like the easiest example of a flow state I can give you is you ever like you go over to your friend's house when you're a kid and you're like, oh my God, where did all the time go? We've been here for like forever. It was 4 hours and I already have to go or whatever. I have to go home now. What the hell is that? That's the flow state, right? Like when you're sort of so into what it is that you're doing that other concerns aren't there. And that's always been how I have my best success. I can tell you that.
I went over to my friend's house and he turned on Suika game, handed me a controller. I said, "What is this?" And he said, "Try it. You'll like it." And I blacked out for 3 hours. I just sat there playing this little fruit game on their TV for 3 hours while 4 other people sat around having conversations around me. I paid zero attention to all of it. Just at some point, I came out of it and was just like, what happened?
And this when you were 12 or 2 days ago?
This was sometime last year. This is not that long ago.
But yeah, it's definitely the kind of thing where it just happens to you, and in much the same way as like a meditative state, right? Like I've always had like a passing interest in meditation as a sort of method for doing this, which makes me feel or sound a little bit like one of those Silicon Valley freaks who's like, ooh, I microdose LSD and Adderall to get in a flow state. And it's like, all right, I get it. There is something a little bit obnoxious about using meditative techniques for performance rather than for like self-exploration, right? Like there is something like, okay, maybe I'm an asshole for doing this. But on the other hand, it is something I would like to be able to kick myself into more, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you're telling me if I could turn that shit on, how do I not just hit that button every day? You know? Or it's like, oh God, I have to, do my taxes or something. It's like you just crank that lever. And then you just boom.
Yeah, see,
I would do that.
I don't think it works for stuff like doing your taxes. I'm going to be honest with you. I think it requires a genuine interest.
No, it does. It does. But that's the thing where it's like, oh, I microdose LSD and Adderall to get into a flow state. And it's like, well, you shouldn't need to do that if you're working on something that is genuinely interesting. And if you're not, then it probably just isn't going to work. So like, what the hell? But
yeah, but like you get to be like, ooh, I'm on the cutting edge of tech bioscience. I'm Brian Johnson. Are you familiar with Brian Johnson?
No.
He's a billionaire who is obsessed with de-aging himself.
Oh no, this is the guy, yeah. The blood transfusions or whatever.
Yes, he gets blood transfusions from his son. He once posted a graph of how often his and his son's dicks were erect at night as like evidence that he had a 19-year-old dick.
Isn't this guy also like not that old? Like he is the same
he's
age
like
as
43.
me. It also looks, yeah, I'm 41, I think. And he looks like he's 20 years older than me.
He looks like if you smoothed the skin out on a 43-year-old in such a way as to make him look like a Doctor Who villain. Like, he looks like early 2000s, or like old Russell T Davies era Doctor Who plastic impersonating a human. Like,
I'm 41, dog. I
Yeah.
had no blood transfusions.
You should
It's
get them.
clean living. It's all this gambling, all
just
this fun I'm having.
clean living, a gambling addiction, and a nicotine addiction, and you still look better than Plastic Man.
No, the nicotine is just for fun. I'm not addicted.
Right.
I can quit whenever I want. I quit all the time. I'm so good at it.
That's that is the best. You know, they say experience is the best teacher, and you can't. The greatest master has lost so many times. So in that sense, you must be the greatest master of this. I can't talk shit about other people's vices. I am hopelessly addicted to caffeine. Guess how many caffeinated protein shakes are on my desk right now?
5.
They're empty. Wrong. 6. there are 6
Not
of them.
again!
There is a box of them over there within 10 feet of me. I have caffeine pills. I have Excedrin for when I have a headache, but I also want caffeine. Unbelievable amounts of unhealthy bullshit goes on in here. Unbelievable.
I have a fridge right here.
Really?
Yeah.
Then why'd you reach the other way to get water?
Because it's sitting on my desk.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought about like doing some sort of fridge thing here, but I don't know.
My fridge is empty because I drank all the Red Bulls, so I have to go all the way in there. I have to go 20 feet that way like a jackass.
That's so fucked up, man. Yeah, I finally got my gym built, and so far I've used it twice. I've lived here a month. It's I still am in the 250s though. Despite what I would describe as a recent relapse in my eating habits, I have not gained that much weight. So, you know, good for me.
Well, how much of that is
lost muscle, gained fat? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a great question. But I think I'm actually at the point where any amount of weight lost is just a net good for my heart, regardless of what that weight is.
Fair.
I strongly suspect that to be true. I cannot be positive, but I strongly suspect that to be true. I genuinely have been feeling better. Like it's sort of frustrating that it does make you feel better to be less overweight. It bothers me because just think about all the better I could have been feeling, you know? Shit. But yeah, that's I'm not gonna knock a nicotine addiction. My addiction is like much lamer, you know? I'm addicted to the productivity drug. That's gross, dude. It's fucking disgusting.
Well, I mean, I'm not addicted to it. I did actually quit caffeine for like 8 months, something like that, and was pretty proud of myself. And then, dude, especially because I didn't know what was gonna happen, I just stopped it cold turkey, and then was like, why do I have these migraines?
Yep.
I never put the two together, and then I was stuck at an airport, and I had to stay up for like 3 hours in the middle of the night or something, or risk like oversleeping my flight. And so I was like, I'll just buy a Mountain Dew from this vending machine. You know, I could certainly just have one caffeinated beverage and then never drink them again. And then I've just been drinking multiples a day ever since. But for that 8 months, I was clean.
You know, the worst part is I strongly believe I could stop if I wanted to. But at the same time, I also strongly believe that I have no incentive to stop.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the thing too, is like, why?
Yep.
You know, it's we don't know that it's killing us. You know.
Well, I mean, like of all the things that are killing me, it's probably pretty low on the list. Like, it's probably right there around microplastics, Marvel Snap, or the stress caused by it. You know, like I feel like I'm much more likely to have an aneurysm because I lost 4 cubes off Gladiator pulling death than I am to die of caffeine, anything related to that. You know.
Why'd you play Gladiator? It
was my fault. Yeah, I should have played around it.
Yeah.
Would you believe that like that actually happened twice in one session? Was a Gladiator pulling an Arisheb generated death and losing me 4 cubes? Two separate times. Like, two separate times. It's like, okay, shit. All right, fine. I'm not playing Gladiator anymore.
How could you even be mad at that?
I'm pretty clearly
Remember
think
when we
it's
talked
funny
about
now.
the RSM like zero outer?
Yes.
That's a crazy version of that.
It's the opposite of that because it actually is like, damn, that's really low likelihood. Like, it's like, it's not like your normal RSM zero outer where it's actually like 20% likely to happen. That one's like, that's some shit right there. But yeah, I mean, I obviously like a lot of my things is like I think it's funny in retrospect, but when it's happening to me, oh my god. How am I expected to function in these scenarios where I get unlucky sometimes, dude?
I don't know, man. Like the absurdity hits me harder than like any sort of anger does.
Yeah, because it's been 20 years for you.
Yeah.
You have so much experience getting randomly fucked that like it doesn't even register anymore. Me, it's only been like 2-3 years.
I know what you need to do. I know the thing that would dampen the negative impact of you losing 4 cubes is lose a few coin flips for thousands of dollars.
Yeah,
You'll remember those. You'll forget all about the deaths.
It's true.
How mad can you get?
What I need is a larger gambling addiction. That's actually the solve here.
Honestly, dude, it's not going to make things worse. Let me tell you.
I mean, it won't make that worse. It can make a lot of other things worse. Honestly, we should do this. What we should do is go 50-50 on a box of Final Fantasy and actually flip for it. For content, like we should just have that be an episode of the podcast. Like during the course of the podcast, we're opening. I don't even want the Final Fantasy cards though. There was like a card that I really liked, Xenos.
That makes it even better. You think I can do anything with these foiled Japanese cards?
Dude, I was like, oh wow, I want Xenos Ye Galvis, right? And you pulled him, and I wasn't even like, oh damn, Gerry, how much for that guy? Because I don't fucking want him because he's Xenos Ye Galvis and not a character from Magic, and it's like I don't know who this fucking guy is.
Well, I still got that guy, and I got him set aside for you too.
Oh yeah, my boy XYG. Whatever, man. That's
whatever, man.
Whatever, man. But yeah, like I saw. Yes. Those are going up right now. You need to sell those ASAP because I think Aspiring Spike started playing them in Mardu, and now they're worth money.
Oh, again. God bless Aspiring Spike.
I think he just made you a bunch of money, dude.
I was wondering why they were going up.
Yeah.
But I did have the thought of like playing them in Boros. I was like, this is Johnny into this? Like, it's that's not nothing,
Yeah.
Basically, I have these, and I was looking for a reason to play with them.
Well, I mean, you have that reason now, but I think, obviously the financially smart thing to do would be to sell them and use that money to buy more boxes. Yeah, that's my boy XYG, aka whatever, man. It's cool as shit. He's cool as fuck. I love his design. It should be a Phage the Untouchable. Do you know how much money I would pay for Phage the Untouchable, but it's Xenos Ye Galvis? Holy shit.
Well, you could just get someone to change that for you.
I probably will have to. That's legitimately where I'm at. Where it's like, I hate so much that he's the antagonist from an MMO I've never played.
Yeah.
It bothers me because the design is sick as fuck, and I want to play with our boy.
That's where Universes Within comes in.
But they'll never do it for Phage because she doesn't have fans. Not like I'm like the only Phage fan on Earth. Like I know her whole story, dog.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, yeah. But there are people who enjoy the card. The card,
yes, because of the gimmick of the card, right? But I'm like, I read Onslaught, Legions, and Scourge. I read Odyssey, Torment, and Judgment, the novels and Fat Packs. I don't know who that is. Is that Aerith?
Aerith
Left
and
one
Yuna.
looks like Aerith.
Oil.
Okay.
Aerith.
I have no frame of reference. Are you showing me $100 bills right now? I know my boy XYG is like 40.
Yuna's like a hundo.
Mm. But yeah, it's like
that is
I just
not
like
much.
I'll do it, but like what we should actually do is like do it with a box of a set from forever ago, like Invasion or some shit, and just like incinerate money.
Invasion's not bad actually.
I
I mean,
feel like
like,
there's nothing worth anything in there.
no, that's not true at all. So
Oh,
I went to shows this weekend and I went through a lot of his stuff and pulled close to $1,000 worth of stuff to sell. And some of the stuff that he had were 2 copies of Empress Galena from the list, which I don't know if you know what the list is, but she's
the
Invasion Rare.
reset, like it's where they reprinted shit from old sets in new
It,
boosters.
yeah, and just
Yeah.
he just opened these in his like Brothers War case that he got. But the Empress Galenas were like $8.
Oh yeah. But like I always feel like for those old packs, there's like a premium on the oldness of them because there's just not a lot of sealed product for them being left around.
Yeah. I mean, you could open like a foil Sabo's Web or some shit. Maybe that's a gajillion dollars.
Yeah, yeah. But that's sort of where my head is at. Is like that would be more entertaining for me than the Final Fantasy stuff because it's like, oh, I opened this. I don't know any. I have no connection to the Final Fantasy stuff, just none. And so it gets me. It gets me nowhere. Well, yeah. If anyone knows an alterist who can alter that Xenos Ye Galvis over there for into a double-sided phage.
It's the Surge foil one. So that
It's a
I
bad
feel
alter.
like that
Don't alter that.
you're just painting over the Surge foil at that point, right?
I don't know how foil alters work, dude. I legitimately have no idea.
Foil Sabo's Web is $90. So most expensive card, I guess the total of an Invasion set is $424. Most expensive card is $50. Foil version of that is $400. So yeah, you could open one of those.
Oh, nice. One thing I've been meaning to do is this is like a simultaneously very sweet and torture my girlfriend kind of thing. I was gonna put together the Onslaught starter decks that I used to buy when I first played this game. Be like, we should play like this, and just let my own nostalgia torture her into playing like Gust Cloak and Mistform decks. Just like the worst shit ever.
Do you know Katsuhiro Mori?
No.
There is some more lore about this guy that I will tell you off the podcast.
I can't believe you did this shit again. Okay, continue.
But famously, he played a Selesnya Guild Mage on turn 2. Or he played Land Elves on turn 1, Selesnya Guild Mage on turn 2. Turn 3 played a land and attacked Yelger Vigersma with the elf and the Guild Mage. Yelger picked up his quicksand, pointed it at the Guild Mage, and Mori immediately untapped the Land Elf and then went in the tank. And Yelger was just like, what are you? Because you could pay 4 mana with the Guild Mage to pump it or whatever. And he just became known as Gus Cloak Mori.
Oh shit, that's so good. That's actually
I think the
so
end
good.
result. I think the end result was Yelger just binned his quicksand, and Mori was allowed to pump his Guild Mage.
Really?
Yeah, that was like round 2 of Worlds.
This must have been before they like had judges who gave a shit, like Noah Rabin. You know, Noah Rabin would not let that shit slide.
Dude, I had a person message me today. It was like, oh hey, we run events, and Noah Rabin messaged us interested in staffing our events or whatever. I saw you tweet about him. Could you tell me more about like his offenses or whatever? So I just sent him the Fire Shoes thread. Like, do you want more than this? Like,
He is the coolest man alive. Like, in much the same way as I found Mr. First Name Bunch of Numbers on Twitter fascinating, I find Noah similarly fascinating. Like, it's just,
Yeah.
it speaks to something inside of me where it's like, I too am someone who is good enough at speaking that if you let me talk for long enough, I'll probably win the argument. I totally get it. Like, I totally understand this methodology, man. Good job. I'm proud of you.
Set of Onslaught, $800, but that's because it has the fetch land.
Yeah, but at least if we opened, what really fucks me up is Onslaught was like the set I got into Magic with. I don't remember ever opening a single fetch land or even processing that they were good, but I'm sure if I did, I would have gotten rid of them immediately. It's like 8 or whatever.
Care to guess the most expensive card in Onslaught that's not a fetch land?
Oh, God. Is it some goblin tribal thing for like $8?
So the second most expensive card is Goblin Sharpshooter.
I was so close, man.
It's $28.
$28 out of Onslaught.
But the most expensive card is $10 more than Goblin Sharpshooter.
Okay. So we're looking for a $40 card out of Onslaught. Can you give me anything to narrow it down? Like, is it a creature?
It's also red.
It's not a goblin?
No.
Bro, you got me fucked up. There's like 5 non-goblins in that whole set. Am I gonna be really mad? I can tell from like the smirk on your face that I feel like I'm gonna be mad as fuck right now.
Like, what is the deal with your Magic collection? Like, do you still have all your cards?
Oh yeah, they're like in a pile down in like 75 different boxes, like within arm's reach of me. Actually.
Oh yeah, you should probably go through because this card is Mana Echoes.
I don't even know what that is.
It is a bulk rare.
Oh well, shit. It's probably some commander thing. It's got to be, right?
Yeah, 4-mana enchantment. Whenever a creature comes into play, you may add 1 to your mana pool for each creature you control that shares a creature type with it. So kind of a goblin card.
Yeah, that's a dope commander card. I'm with it. Yeah, I like it. That's a cool card. I probably don't own it though, just because like if I did own a card like that, there's no chance I would have ever kept it. It's not a creature. Okay. It's not a big guy. There's just no way, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I did not give a shit. If you didn't have big numbers on your card, I was not about that life.
The 15th most expensive card is an uncommon.
One of the cycle lands?
No.
I got nothing. I feel like there's probably like a huge drop off. There's like there's gonna be like 5 cards worth more than $5 in the entire set that aren't fetch lands.
11 cards that are worth $10 or more.
Really?
And then a solid amount that are yeah, it's all the worst cards too. Wheel and Deal, Cover of Darkness, Biorhythm, Chain of Vapor. Oh. Chain of Vapor is the uncommon and is $10.
Chain of Vapor is $10.
Yeah,
I have like 100 of those, dude.
Yeah,
that's the one where it's like the guy. It's like the guy in like the little monster, and he's like breathe. There's like a little line of blue magic coming out of it.
Correct. Yep.
Yeah, I've got a lot of those in that box.
You should go through your cards. Yeah. I've been selling a lot of cards recently. I've been like really learning the prices of things. I should actually send you a spreadsheet that my friend sent me. It's like everything that's common, uncommon, 50 cents or more on Card Kingdom's buy list.
Noted. Yeah.
I bet you have a lot of garbage that like every Dark Ritual is $2. Every counterspell is like $2. Like, yeah.
What?
Dude, shit's crazy.
That's ridiculous. Yeah. I mean, my shit points are popping off.
How many Cabal Rituals do you have?
A bunch.
They're $10.
Why?
Because it has not been reprinted. That's it.
So it's just like Commander players who want to run second Dark Rit? Like, what play is this?
It sees play in like Legacy too.
Oh, I don't pay attention to Legacy. How would I know? Yeah.
It's a fucked up card.
But yeah, I've got plenty Cabal Rituals there. When I was in college, my friends and I bought a collection and chopped it. And so there's just like
what you should have did was buy the collection and flip for it.
we
That
drafted
would
the
have learned you
rares.
something.
We drafted
learned
the
you
rares to like who got to keep what. One of my friends went mono Aether Vials. Good call. Just good call. Just
Not
like
bad.
ripping Aether Vials out of the pile. It was a good rip. Good solid
And-
play.
Yeah, it's only uncommons too.
Yeah, they were uncommons. There were like 7 of them in the collection. It was just like, all right, they were $10 at the time. That was a big deal for us. That was like 2 Stoneforge Mystics at the time.
Yeah.
MTG
And now-
Finance yeah.
Now Ether Vial's $5 and Chain of Vapor's 10. So
Hashtag my shitcoin popped off. Hawk to a coin.
Brightstone Ritual 250.
You're shitting me. The one with the goblins and the jewel.
Yeah,
Yeah. I have a bunch of those.
common.
Yeah. I should really go through this crap, huh?
Yep.
There's just like a pile of money sitting next to me of some shit I will never play. All right, cool.
Yeah, I'll make you rich real quick. I'll send you the spreadsheet.
Hell yeah, brother. I've always regarded Magic the Gathering as, here's what we'll do. We'll go through the spreadsheet, and then I'll sell a bunch of shit, and then we'll use that shit to gamble on further Magic cards.
Yes, I love this idea.
That's my plan for what this is going to be. I probably have to buy a new copy of the world's tiniest duel decks, though. I shuffle them during. I have all 6 of them, and I shuffle them during stream, but they progressively get more and more fucked up, and it makes me sad. So,
That's not an official product, is it?
Yeah, it's real.
Damn, I didn't even know.
Ben Brode once played a world's tiniest duel decks on Commander at home, which it's weird that I also have all of these. Because, I didn't know that until after. I was like, what is happening to the price of this duel deck? And it turns out it was Ben Brode's fault. He spiked it.
That's great.
He's ruining my life twice, Not just this, but also hella. But yeah, that's what happened. And so now I have them, and I can't use any of the expensive ones. But I fear I accidentally grabbed the Vraska one, which is from the actual expensive one. It's hard to find Jace versus Vraska. The other 2 you can find. I think I fucked it up a little bit. I gotta replace this one. Replace the sleeves that I have on it, which are for postage stamps.
That rules.
It does rule. It is very cool. But yeah, that's sort of my interaction with Magic the Gathering. It's a game that I will only participate in for the purposes of gambling in the future.
Okay, so this can be the Gerry episode where we flip for a box.
The problem is I really don't want to flip for it. I kind of just want to open packs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if I have the stones to do a full, to do the double gamble,
I just made you a bunch of money by telling you to look at your closet.
Yeah, but I already
You're
had that. I had the closet.
You're free rolling.
I'm not free rolling, man. I paid for those.
You did, but you're about to make your money back and then some, and you weren't gonna do if I didn't tell you, they were just gonna reprint all these cards, and then your collection was gonna tank.
They did that already, and then they unbanned Mox Opal, and it was like my collection is back. Great job, guys.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you should probably sell those too.
Yeah, I know. I gotta cash out of my shit coins at the peak. That's life. But I mean, we'll see what ends up happening. I will because basically any random pile of bullshit from Invasion Block through Mirrodin, probably. There's a decent chance I have a bunch of it.
Did you do full Mirrodin?
Yeah.
Like on and everything?
Yes. Towards the end of Mirrodin is about where I started to taper off. So yeah, we'll see how this ends up shaping up.
Aura Shards 1350 on the buy list.
I don't even know what that is.
I've seen a bunch of stuff.
Aura Shard? That's an uncommon?
Yeah, I'm looking at the common uncommon spreadsheet. So KCI from 5th on 1550, Blasting Station 750, Grinding Station 5, Magnetic Theft 440, Paradise Mantle 440, Steel Shaper's Gift 420, Blaze It, Mana Geyser $1, and then a bunch of stuff at like 50 cents to $1. So
Sure. I don't know how much of this stuff I'm actually going to have. I tend to believe I have a bunch of garbage. Chain of Vapor being a real card is freaking me out because like you can tell there are cards that I recognize from their art, right? Chain of Vapor, Brightstone Ritual, those are cards from my actual childhood, right? And then,
but this is a lot of garbage.
Yeah, I guess we'll
see.
We'll
Grimoire is $3. Dark Steel Uncommon.
Commander is so cool, dude.
It's something.
It's so cool.
Well, if we don't get to flip for something, this is the Gerry episode then, because we talked way too much about magic and internet ninjas.
We'll see if we can get someone to flip. Oh god, I have the hiccups now.
What if
Gerry, cover for me?
What if we get someone to stake you? Like instead of you putting up the money, they buy it, and I flip that person.
Do you have someone in mind?
No, I was hoping it'd be one of your people. one of your viewers, one of your fans.
It's like the way you brought that up, it feels like it's like, this is like the second part of a con, right? What if we got someone to stake you?
No, but
like somehow you end up with my bank account details.
This is what makes it a great con, is that you pick the person.
Oh my god. No, I mean, like, we'll see. It's just like, I don't know. I want to open packs. Like, I did some gambling. My girlfriend plays One Piece Treasure Cruise. She's a big One Piece fan. It's a terrible game. She had me do some rolls on her account last night. I got the Rocks Pirates, and I felt something. Yeah,
I
felt something. Right?
I'm saying.
It's just like, I don't know if I need that second layer of the gamble there,
How did you not immediately just get on HSR after that?
Because they haven't released the crossover with Fate yet. Don't worry, they'll get me back, all right? They'll get me back as soon as I can play as Archer and Saber, okay? Like, it's fine. They'll get their win back on that one. But,
Rail, July 11th, log in, get Archer for free.
Yeah, they're gonna have my ass in a fucking chokehold with that shit, man. One of the worst things about FGO is how dog shit the gameplay is, and it's always sort of baffled me. Like, the first time I played Genshin, I was like, oh, this is like so clearly the future of what gaming is. It's like an actual game that's a gacha, right? Like, oh my god, that's like, oh shit, it's over for me, right? The fact that games like HSR and One Piece Treasure Cruise and that just still sort of continue to exist in a world where their competitors are the MiHoYo games is absurd to me.
HSR is a Hoyo game.
That's what I mean. Sorry, like, to be clear, HSR is way above something like FGO. Did I say HSR instead of FGO? Sorry.
I think you put them both in the same bucket, and I was like,
no.
Actually, pretty good.
HSR, yes.
It's not FGO. Open world to the point that Genshin is or anything, but like it does have a bunch of different endgame modes, which I think is pretty cool. Whereas Genshin has nothing.
Yes, it's HSR also has like, in my opinion, one of the better turn-based combat systems I've played, which is annoying because it's a gacha game, right? You're like, all right, man, they really cooked on this one. I think they did some really interesting stuff. And then you're like, but actually, in order to engage with it deeply, please give us your entire wallet and bank balance.
Well, play Expedition 33.
I keep hearing nothing but good things about that game, but also that its combat would not work if you had to like do it for an extended period of time, which is to say, it benefits from the shortness of itself because of if you had to play like 100 hours worth of parrying and being on for everything, people would be like, this is too much fucking bullshit.
Yeah. No, I could see that.
I still haven't started Oblivion, by the way. And like, I love the Elder Scrolls so much. Like, if there was a KMBest sode where I talk about the stuff that like is inside my brain at an even deeper level than I already do, in as much as every episode is already that would be one of the things that I would talk about. Like, it's just like, that is like a fixation at the core of my being. I know so much about Elder Scrolls lore. It is insane. and it's not stuff you're like supposed to realize or even care about. Did you know that the entire Elder Scrolls universe is not just the dream of a godhead, but also more or less literally constructed out of music and tones, which is why shouting works, because you are altering the tones of the music playing that is the universe. Yeah, that's actually true. The Dwemer who disappeared, they were fucking around with tonal architecture. The sort of architecture of the universe as defined by these sounds. They were like literally divine music. That's what they were fucking around with, and it like a bunch of things happened. But they ended up not being here anymore. I know way too much about Elder Scrolls lore. I love it. It is one of my favorite universes. I still have not started fucking Oblivion.
It's funny because a bunch of the stuff that you just said, I have like no real knowledge about, except for I played the one card game.
I wish that card game was still around and or good. I really do.
I think it is maybe both. I think they kept the servers up. I don't know if they still did or not, but I did enjoy that game quite a bit. Also,
I noticed
snap that game in half.
I noticed someone on Twitter followed me who worked at Bethesda, and I was like, or who worked on I think it was Elder Scrolls Legends, which is not Elder Scrolls Legends. Sorry, Elder Scrolls Online. Legends was the card game. Okay. Online is the
yeah.
And I was like, damn, I need you. Like, this is my in. I've got to get hired. Because like the online has actually done a lot of stuff with the lore, right? But it's like, if you follow me for card games, there's no chance you'll trust that I'm an Elder Scrolls lore freak, right? Like, how would one demonstrate the other? You know?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think we're both freaks for like a lot of different things. It's just like, oh, there is a thing or two that we have figured out how to monetize, and the others we just haven't yet. Like, how do I monetize flipping coins for things?
Well, that actually seems quite easy to monetize. We actually just came up with a system to monetize it today.
Well, it monetizes it for your benefit.
I will give you $12 a month.
Your benefit of $30 a month.
Yes. I make so much money on this podcast. Has anyone like here's a thing that's incredibly embarrassing to me. When I was doing the podcast with Brendan, he always would start it out with a call to action to like rate us on Rate This Podcast or whatever across multiple feeds. But I don't even have us up on multiple feeds. We're just on YouTube and Spotify because I'm a stupid asshole.
How do you get it published to Spotify and not everything else? Because I always just uploaded to SoundCloud and that shipped the RSS feed to everyone.
You have to be signed into an account with all of those services, which I just don't have. I don't have an Apple account. Like, I don't have an account on all these other services with which to publish this stuff.
Just make an account, dog.
This is why I said it was embarrassing. Okay.
Yeah, I'm picking up on that now.
Yeah.
Also, I am the podcast guy. Like, well, I don't know. You could have just asked.
What, to use your account? I actually didn't think about that. That's a good point.
Well, yeah, you could have done that, but I don't know. It might have been mutually beneficial for me too, because I run into people that are like, "Oh, I've been playing this game, Marvel Snap. Like that game's kind of cool." I'm like, "Yeah, I have a podcast about that." They're like, "Really?
Where is it? I can't find it on Apple."
Yeah, I only use Podbean or whatever. It's like, yeah, well.
Well, that's your own fault, okay? For being... I feel like the name Podbean is so deeply 2012 coffee shop thick-rimmed glasses that it upsets me.
What am I on now? I'm on Pocket Casts.
Could be anything. That could be absolutely anything. But for the record, for anyone listening to this, we literally do not make money on this unless you watch it on YouTube. Get your ass on YouTube, okay? This is the only way I can farm ad revenue to the tune of $77 in 31 days, all right?
Yeah. I mean, YouTube just kind of sucks ass unless you have 100,000 people watching, right?
I don't know, man. I'm grateful. I mean, like, if I didn't get fired and really devote myself to my YouTube channel, I would have to have a real job right now. So anything that allows me to not do that.
You got fired?
Oh yeah. Right around when I went to Hong Kong, I like took time off to do that, and I mentioned it to my boss, and like it gradually like he started to pick up that this was like a real thing for me that was like becoming a thing, and he was like, dude, you cannot work here and also run a side business at the same time. Like, you cannot do
Why
that.
not?
Because my
Why
work
not?
quality was slipping.
This
Because
is
I was
America.
because I was very obviously getting worse at my job as I was doing more of this content stuff.
Well, maybe they should pay you more to incentivize you to continue doing the work versus like doing a thing that is, I don't know, at least like slightly rewarding and fulfilling and also pays you money and rewards you for the amount of effort that you put into it.
I mean, if you want to make that argument to my boss, I think that would have been nice. But I mean,
Give me his number.
I
Give
kind
me
of
his number. I'll
gotta,
call him right now.
I gotta give it to him. I kind of think he was right. I was like, when you zoom out far enough, it's like, yeah, man, you know what? You're right. This probably was the best thing for me to do. Like, it wasn't. I wasn't
I thought when
mad.
you went full time that you had left your job.
Well, that's one way of looking at it.
Oh well.
I mean, I did leave my job.
The truth, after all, is subjective.
Yeah,
So.
I mean, I did leave my job, but like
I
when
did
you're
leave because they asked me to.
demanded my departure. But yeah, it's like I don't even really think of that as like. Honestly, it reminded me a lot more of like there's the conversation that like they have in Parks and Rec where it's like don't half-ass two things, whole-ass one thing. It was honestly basically that conversation. I don't have any animus towards them. It was just like, yeah, you know what? That's actually you're probably right. Like it's if I'm taking a week off work to fucking fly to Hong Kong, I probably am not putting all of myself into this.
No, I think that that's fucking stupid though, really, because like can a man just take a vacation even if
Sure.
he's working or
I
whatever?
think that's
You
what
know?
drove it home though. I think like that's what like they picked up on when they were like, "Oh, you're really like doing this." And so I think if I'd been like quieter about it, they might not have noticed a decline until it was precipitous. But once you start paying attention, you start noticing things. And I think that's basically what happened.
Give me your boss's number.
I really have no animus towards them. They were going through a really tough time financially at the time. They're pretty highly invested in crypto, so they're doing great now. But at the time, it was not a good moment for them, I believe. So you know, I got
Well,
I got no animus there. It's
especially being a crypto bro, yeah, definitely give me his number. I'll yell at him.
I don't think it's him so much as the owner, but yes.
However, guilty by association.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, you left. You're cool.
That was a good job. I liked working there. I've had far worse jobs than that one. Like I got to tell you, I whenever I hear people talk about like how some jobs aren't meant to be a living wage. I always talk about like food service. I'll tell you the hardest jobs I ever worked were fucking food service, furniture moving, all the shit that actually requires you to do something. None
Yeah.
of the jobs I ever had where I got to sit down were harder than that. Absolutely
Nope.
zero. And the fact that the pay is inverted for that is complete garbage. Like, but honestly, like every job sucks, right? Like I see so much about how that every job you have to do things you don't want to do, right? So I'm immensely grateful to have this job, which is a super fake job, but I do have a lot of freedom in it.
I don't think it's fake though, man. I really don't. Some of this might be cope or whatever, but I am a person who is deeply skeptical of just everything and also very difficult to convince of anything, especially in regards to I don't know, like my well-being or anything that like paints what I do in a good light or whatever, but I am very much convinced that existing in this space is a good thing if you are being a force for good rather than one of the people who is just stoking like the drama fires and shit like that, right? Like you are helping people reach their goals, you are teaching people things, you're providing entertainment, you're making their shitty days a little bit less bad. Like all of that fucking rules. And I don't know, man. It's so much more important to me than any of the other like sitting down jobs. Like food service is still harder. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that this job is necessarily hard, but it does matter to people. Like you do make an impact on people's lives. If you ever left your house, went out to events, people would tell you that.
Yeah, well, luckily for both me and those people, I will not do so unless you offer me a $700 coin flip. All right? So it's just not happening. This has been the KMBest podcast. Gerry and I are going to discuss off stream if we're going to be able to figure out how to do a $700 coin flip live, or at least pre-recorded for you. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.